The question is, are your goals SMART? Not just in the regular sense of that word, but SMART stands for sort of a 5-point acronym that you can use to judge your goals. And this comes from my kids, because I had to share this with my kids. And I know they may not totally remember it now, but I'll keep reinforcing it. And, they'll tell me what they want. And then oftentimes it'll be ambiguous. Like if you tell somebody, what are you looking for in your finances? What are your goals, right? Most people are going to say, oh, I want more money. See, that goal isn't SMART in the sense that I want to share with you today. I want more money. That's not a SMART goal. I want to lose weight. That's not a SMART goal either. You'll see why when we look at the acronym SMART. I want a better love life, a better relationship. That's also not a SMART goal because it's too ambiguous, right? And so when we talk about SMART goals, the S means something, the M means something, the A means something, the R means something, and the T. So let's talk about the S. The goal must be specific. Like, what do you really want? And the who needs to be in it, the what, the where, the why, and we'll talk about the when. But you've got to be specific. And I tell people when they write down their goals, do it in journal style, not bullet points. I want you to think about that perfect outcome, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like. What do you see? What do you hear? What's your environment? Make it like an entry in a journal. Make it like a chapter of a book. This is your future life, and you are writing about it in specific detail. My sister sent me an entry once, and I loved it. She got it from a workshop that she attended, and her perfect day. She started with what time she woke up in the morning, and then she said what she did and the kind of meal she had, and when she was to report to her own practice, practice of psychology, counseling center, and what she was going to do and how she was going to help people, when she was going to take her lunch, when her husband was going to come and stop by for it. Like, it was really specific. But whatever it is, you've got to have numbers attached. It's not I want to lose weight. It's I want to lose 10 pounds. You got to be specific about it, right? It's not I want more money. It's I want a salary. If this is you, I want a salary of $100,000 a year. I want to find a position that pays me what I'm truly worth. Like, be specific. More, right? That doesn't come with an answer. What? Okay, more means $1 more. I want to make more money. Okay, well, your goal is satisfied when I come around and I give you $1. Technically, you made more money, right? I want to lose weight. Okay, well, then the goal is satisfied technically when you get on the scale and you're half a pound lighter. There you go. Boom, right? Because it wasn't specific enough. More, less, those aren't words that you want to use. Specific words. The M stands for measurable, which kind of goes along with being specific, because you've got to be able to measure it. Like, how do you know when you've achieved it? Like, how will you know? I want to make more money, you won't know. And plus, that's like a moving target. Some of us are never satisfied. So it keeps moving, right? But if you give yourself a specific goal for this specific season and it's measurable numerically, most goals can be measured. Now there's things like love, but that can still be specific and measurable too. There's some steps and things that you can do to help that out, but some things are easier than others. I'll give you that. Specific, measurable. So that's number 2, right? Number 3, attainable. And this is a hard one, right? Especially for positive oriented people, right? Okay, let's say, oh, well, you read this book and it told you just reach for the sky. And I'm all for reaching for the sky. But saying something like, I'm going to have $10 million in my bank account this time next year. Okay, it's specific. Okay, it's measurable. But is it realistic, right? And I'm not saying it's like impossible, because it's not. People are coming up with things like Snapchat. I mean, a lot, Instagram. These things didn't take a long time, and these people became billionaires. Don't get me wrong, but if you're unemployed right now, and the goal is 10 million, there's a few steps in between that. And so the A is attainable, and we can define that as like realistic, right? So let's come up, because most of us aren't willing to do what it takes for an impossible type of task. So yes, Spud Webb dunked at 5'2", 5'3", but you don't know what went into that happening. right, over the years, and winning dunk contests and things like that. That doesn't happen by accident, right? So attainable is the A. R, rewarding. So at the same time, while it needs to be attainable, it can't be something. Most of us are guilty of it being too low, more so than it being unrealistic, right? So I know you want to win the lotto by next year. That's unrealistic. But on the other end, a lot of us, our goals aren't rewarding enough. They don't make us get up and go, right? Many of us, like I said in my graduation commencement to the graduates, I said we put periods where we should put question marks. A lot of us already kind of have made up in our mind what we're possible. In Jermaine's world, well, this is possible. I'll go a little bit out and I'll put my period. You know, I'll put a little blank there for the unknown, and then I'll put my period, right? A lot of us do that. And so it takes an expansion of what is possible. Yeah, it is possible for you to become if being a millionaire or having more money, let's be specific, I even said more, millionaire, I'm gonna say that. Because if that's in your heart, that's not in everybody's heart. But when you have a desire for something, usually the things will show up to make that desire a reality. The very fact that you have a desire will mean that the tools that allow you to be capable of realizing that desire are available to you. I believe that desire, cause and effect, they come like in a pair, and so you just got to search around for the causes that will cause you, to realize that end. So that's very possible. So rewarding, something that makes you get up in the morning, something that makes you strive, like the story of this dog that used to like chase this, like any car that passed by, the dog would chase the car, right? Chase the car. One time a neighbor came out, asked the owner of the dog, what's gonna happen when that dog actually catches up to one of these cars? And the owner said, well, that doesn't matter, because he wouldn't know what to do. For him, the chase, right? The chase is all that matters, right? And for a lot of us, we've been chasing things all our lives, but things that aren't rewarding, right? Things that aren't, and we get excited about the chase, you find somebody always in the business, always doing something, right? So make sure that one thing that you do reach for, though, is something worth doing and something worth sticking with. It's not something you're going to be on this season and you off to something else, trying to chase another car next season. And then finally, time bound. That's what the T stands for. So specific, measurable, attainable, rewarding, time bound. What does that mean? You've got to have like an expiration date, because if you just say, I want this, but you don't give yourself a time, then you're not reaching for something, you're not reaching for a goal within time constraints. So that means the goal it will always keep moving, because you'll say, well, next time. Like these monks, I heard a story of these monks that they couldn't travel because of their commitment to their monastery, something like that. But they always got excited about, in the fall, they say, we will travel in the spring. And then when spring came along, they said, we will travel in the fall. And they just did this for years and years and kept moving the expiration date, right? Your goal's got to have a time limit. And that is something that needs to be realistic and attainable, but also something that you can work towards and you can chunk down and say, well, if I want this by X time, then reverse engineer that and then say, well, I need to start doing this today, this next week, this by next month, this by next quarter. And that means 20 pounds in 6 months. Well, divide 20 into 6, what's that? Give or take 3 pounds and some change a month, right? You can divide that by a week, 4 weeks in a month, and you can get your realistic time-bound goal that if you do what you've got to do on a weekly basis, you'll look up and in 6 months, time-bound, you will have that goal. It's just that simple. And that's how it works. And that's SMART goals. That's what I wanted to share with you all today.